Good morning. Um, Happy Saturday morning. I know that I don't normally do lives on Saturday mornings. It's just, I like to take that time for myself. It's one of the joys of being self-employed. You get to make that decision for yourself. But, it's a weird thing. And sometimes you have the best of intentions, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today. And everything goes, guess what? I've changed your mind. And the reason that we're doing this today is I want to talk about some crazy little thing in your body. It's called the reticular activating system. It's this amazing piece of technology in your brain, and it is the physical reason that the law of attraction works. It is the physical reason why manifesting intention works. So we're going to talk a little bit about not specifically the reticular activating system so much, but creating intention, having that attraction, and then manifesting it. So if you don't know what the reticular activating system is, basically it's a part of your brain that allows you to focus in on certain things and filter out the stuff that's unimportant. Basically, in a nutshell, and I'm sure that there are folks in this group that could give you a lot more in-depth description of that. I'm thinking of you, Rochelle. That could actually help to really understand what the reticular activating system is. But here's the thing, my only focus today, because I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV. I'm not a therapist. I have just enough understanding, my mother would say, to be dangerous. I think it's just enough understanding to be able to create multiple ways of explaining something that seems perhaps a little bit mystical. So maybe you don't know this about me, but my name is Danielle, and I help anxious female overachievers avoid burnout and create balance in their life with systems, processes, and boundaries that are guilt-free. And so we do that all without medication. And one of the techniques that I use is intention setting, attraction, and manifestation. So let's talk a little bit about how what you focus on grows. Have you ever noticed that you learn a new piece of information, you decide you're going to buy a certain kind of vehicle, you see a color for the first time, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love it. Have you ever noticed how once you've had that one moment of awareness of something, oh my gosh, suddenly it's popping up all over the place. It's everywhere. This happened to us a few years ago when we decided that we were going to move off grid. We had previously planned that we wanted to actually live full time in an RV, a recreational vehicle. And as we were doing our research about what was the best type, we ultimately decided a fifth wheel. And so a fifth wheel needs to be pulled by a pickup truck. And so in the discussion about, okay, well, what kind of pickup truck? Although Martin had never really thought a whole lot about pickup trucks. Next thing we know, those darn pickup trucks, they're everywhere. And of course, that is the reticular activating system that's at work. So although it sounds kind of hippy-dippy voodoo BS-y, it's actually not. It's actually physically rooted in our biology. There's a portion of our brain that's exactly what its entire intention is. Well, I shouldn't say its entire intention. It has three purposes, but that's the one we're focusing on today. So it actually helps to filter out that which we don't need and to focus in on those things that we do. So let's talk a little bit about changing our mind, because that's one of the hardest things in the world to do, is to change our own mind. Here's one thing that I do know for sure. The reason I hired a coach was because I was aware I had blind spots that I could not see. And here's the thing. Oh, I knew I had the blind spots, but did you notice the second part of it? I also knew I couldn't see them. So just because I did this, that doesn't mean that the blind spots became any more easily identified. So I hired my coach, Haley, to help me understand what those blind spots are that I have, to help me uncover any limiting beliefs that I may have, and then to help me reprogram those, help me to find the strategies and tactics to get around the obstacles I was putting in front of myself. Because even though that's what I help female leaders do, well, not necessarily leaders, I shouldn't say that. Leaders are not necessarily roles. Would you agree? So I'm thinking thought leaders. I'm thinking self-management leaders. I'm thinking leaders that people look up to because they have integrity, they're trustworthy, they live and do what they say they're going to do, they lead by example. Those are the kinds of leaders I'm talking about. So those are the kinds of women that I like to help. But it's interesting how many of us are in actual roles like that do those kinds of things and how many aren't. But it's so interesting that we don't typically see ourselves that way. So I'll try to avoid using the word leader because I don't want to turn you off thinking, oh, I'm not a leader, because you probably are. If you are taking a lead in your own life, you probably are. But let's get back to intention, attraction, and manifesting. So this beautiful little system in your brain, once you've made a decision that you're going to change something, once you've made a decision that you are going to focus in on something, now you have to take a couple of steps. And the first step of that is to determine what your intention is. And the reason you need to determine your intention is to activate that reticular activating system. It's a pretty simple thing. There's no crazy mystical reason for it. It really is simply to turn your brain's attention onto that thing that you are desiring. So whether that is, I'd like to quit smoking, I'd like to lose weight, I want to be less anxious, I want to be able to respond when things don't go my way rather than get angry and react. No matter what your thing is that you want to change, the first thing we need to do is we need to create an intention. One of the reasons for that is to be very clear. It helps you to clarify what it is that you do want and what it is that you don't want. And when we work together, what I try to help you do is to create almost a mini movie for yourself. So this is a visualization exercise. And the reason the visualization element is so vital, again, it's that little piece of your brain, that reticular activating system, that's actually going to help you do the work. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure by not actually giving that part of your brain that's designed to do this. You don't want to give it a disadvantage. So we want to create an intention. Once you've created the intention, now we need to focus on it. And the focusing is actually what helps us to attract, because like attracts like, right? That's kind of how the law of attraction works. Like attracts like. And so if you are focusing on this intention that you've created, you will actually naturally start to attract it. And part of the reason for that is your reticular activating system is going to help you to actually notice and recognize opportunities to portray that intention that you are trying to manifest. The other thing that it's going to help you to do is to recognize when something comes your way, so that in terms of manifesting, it doesn't mean that you magically make it appear out of thin air. It means that you are now open to seeing opportunities that come your way, willing to take more risks because that is actually in your favor. It's actually in your service to actually create this intention physically. So it's not hippy-dippy voodoo BS-y stuff. It's actually physical, it's scientific, it's physics. If you would listen to Einstein, who says that all of this is actually physics, not philosophy, then you'd be on my same page here. So what I would love to know, because I'm trying Zoom live for the very first time, so I got to work a few things out. I'm not really sure how to see comments and who's here. I'm going to have to speak to my friend Phyllis Winters, who helps coaches pivot from one-to-one coaching to group coaching using technology. I think I've said that right. But my friend Phyllis, who's an amazing woman and an expert with technology, I may have to ask her how to do this a little bit better. Not that I'm ready to pivot to group coaching yet. So I can't see if you've got any questions, but I would love to talk one-on-one. So if you want to send me a direct message through Facebook, or you can even email me at yournextlevelcoach@outlook.com, and we can start a conversation about what are some of the dreams that you'd like to start manifesting. Because now that you know you have this piece in your brain that is actually designed to help you do that in the physical world, not in the dream world, I'm hoping that you're going to take that next step and make that possible. And if you've got any questions, I want you to know that I do check the comments quite regularly, just in case, even on the weekends, even when I'm not working on the weekends. still check the comments. So if you would like to ask any questions about manifesting, about attraction, and about intention, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I'll tell you something else about me. I don't pretend that I'm the expert in all things. And so if you've asked a question, and all questions are good questions, there's no such thing as a silly question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We ask because we are trying to increase our knowledge. We ask because we are trying to grow. If you have a question and I don't know the answer, I'm going to get you the answer. It's that simple. I have a huge network of experts in my world at my disposal that I can go and ask for their help. I can refer you on to. I have women who are masters at finances. One of my good friends actually helps women to retire by 45. I wish I had known her before I was 45. Anyway, so lots of good friends that I can point you in their direction of. So, hey, Phyllis, hey, Cheryl, yeah, well, look at that. I saw people. I'm so excited. I don't know how I did that, but I see them. Phyllis, I was just telling people about how you are so amazing with technology. And so I was going to ask you a few questions. Cheryl actually helps women who are anxiety riddled. She does, correct me if I'm wrong, Cheryl, I think you do therapy with horses and animal. I may be incorrect. She does retreats. I know that. She's just such a beautiful soul. And she's living in kind of middle of nowhere in Canada. A very brave woman. Anyway, I've digressed here now. So going back to intention, attraction, and manifesting and your reticular activating system, that's great. Cheryl does do that. Please leave comments or questions in there. Send me a private message if you feel like it's something that you'd like to keep personal. Not everybody wants to be active in a Facebook group. I'm an open book. I'm not too worried about it myself for my own story. But if you are, I completely respect that because I remember when I was like that. And so this has taken a lot of work and intention, actually, intention and attraction and manifesting to become this apparently extroverted person. Oh, and migraine relief for stress girls. That's right, migraine relief. So I wasn't always this way. So this is a new persona that I've been creating over the course of 30 years through intention setting, manifestation, and attraction. So if you have questions that you'd like to ask about my process, about how I can help you to do the same thing, feel free to leave a comment in the chat there, or to send me a private message. As I say, I will absolutely respect and honor your privacy. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you a small challenge. What is one change that you've been hoping to make in your life that you've been procrastinating? Because let's face it, we're all master procrastinators. So what is one change that you've been hoping that you could make in your life? Whether it's a small one or whether it's a big one. It could be well, I guess I shouldn't say that quitting smoking is small because it's not that small. But whether it's something like that, or whether it's about, increasing your traffic in your business, having more conversions in your business, no matter what it is, whether it's about creating more work-life balance, developing a deeper relationship with your children or your spouse, what is that one change that you've been longing to make and you feel like, I just don't know how to begin? Let's talk about that one. Okay, so feel free to leave me a comment in the chat, like I say, or send me a private message and we'll get working on that together. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And remember, I do help anxious female overachievers to avoid burnout and create strategies, systems, processes, and boundaries that don't cause guilt so that you can get your life back on track and create some work-life balance. And we do that through one-on-one coaching. So I would be delighted to help you out in any way that I can because it's something I'm very passionate about. And we'll talk to you again soon. I'm rambling now. Bye all.